Hey garage people, I'm back in my girlfriend's garage. As you can see, we're still in storage mode here. The Grand Prix is parked under the Camaro. If you ever wondered how to fit 4 cars in a 3-car garage, you just gotta lift one up. It's not that hard. Anyway, I motivated myself to cut out into the garage today after it rained this morning. It is very nice out now, so let's see if I can refocus there. Oh yeah, see, it's sunny out there now. So I'm gonna try to get stuff back in work mode here. Move this stuff around, and then I've got my to-do list of Camaro stuff here. Skip the first one with DRM. I'm gonna fix the AC, figure out the Lingenfelter box, do the springs so it's not quite as low, and then we will test some stuff, and then that should be the end of it after we get it dyno tuned and the speedo adjusted with up at DRM with Todd. But before that, this weekend is the Classics by the Lake car show, and I'm definitely going to get a video of that. But hopefully we can have this there as well as this. The Chevelle currently, let me see if I can get my hand under the hood here. The Chevelle is leaking from the accelerator pump diaphragm. So I got that rag stuffed under there. So we just need to disconnect the carburetor linkages and pull the carburetor off, because we have a new accelerator pump diaphragm right here, direct from Holly via Summit. I guess not direct from Holly, but whatever. And then also, we are going to finally attach our choke. This was all of $4 at Summit or something like that, $5. I think I had a $5 gift card. And even if it's a pain in the butt to make work correctly, it's better than the one we've got, which the plunger is missing or so. I don't know. We're just going to make this one work. So it was better than trying to pirate a cable off of Jenny's bike or someone else's bike to make a choke cable, which is currently sitting right here. I mean, it might even be the same one or very similar, but even if that is the case, the plunger is, I think the plunger is later, choke. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, so it's all gummed up right now, so we'll fix that and replace that whole thing. So yeah, it should be good. But that will hopefully be done. Well, we'll get this done before this weekend. This I'm not 100% sure, but we'll have something to take to the car show. So yeah, I will keep you guys updated with regards to the wrenchings. And we'll hear this motor make some more noise before too long. And this one too. So yeah, good stuff. Alright garage people, we're working our way down our Camaro to-do list. AC system is right here. Front shocks are right here. And here's all the random hardware. Here is our old springs in red and our new Eibach in black. You can see that the Eibachs are more tightly wound. The gauge of the metal is about the same. And as it turns out, the Eibachs sit lower than these red BMRs do. You can see the BMRs are a little crusty. And my plan is to hit them with the sandblaster and paint them back red and install them on my Bilstein shocks and get them put back in there. And then also do the same for these rear ones, put the rear BMRs back in. The Bilstein, or the Eibach shocks are just a little bit too low for my liking, even though they are a bit longer by overall length, so they just compress a little more and they're probably a lower spring rate overall. Yeah, so I'm gonna try the BMRs with the Ohlins, the Bilsteins. As you can see, I got the front end all disconnected. Sway bar and strut tower brace down there. That's where the pulley or the air conditioner compressor used to live, and you can see the connections right there. I've got the O-rings off of them, and it looks like that was my problem. There's some oil puddled on the bottom of that side and the bottom of that side. And you can see the O-rings are not terrible, but just slightly damp on the other side, and I think they maybe just lost their spring back or something. So I'm gonna get some new O-ring washers tomorrow for that, and then I need some PAG oil for the compressor and a canister of Freon from O'Reilly's, so I can get all those there tomorrow. I'm gonna rent a spring compressor to do the springs on the rear. Then I'll be able to button this all back together, and then I can test the AC system, and then also make sure the ride height's good, and then go about fine-tuning my two-step to make sure my Lingenfelter box works. Yeah, right now it works, but it seems to not turn off. I only want it on when the clutch is depressed, and right now it seems to be on as long as the car is running, and that's not what we want. So we'll try to get that stuff figured out probably early tomorrow. We'll see if we can't get over to my girlfriend's uncle's house. He's got a sweet media blaster he's going to let me use. And then I've got some paint in here that we'll use to get some fresh color on those, and then we'll install them up under the car. So should be fun there. Haven't fired up the engine yet since I've been back. We're gonna mess with the two-step. We'll get this stuff done first to get everything back reinstalled with the suspension and the air conditioning, and then put it down, fire it up. Hopefully put the Freon in, and then we'll go about messing with the two-step and making sure we can get that to function at the RPM we want. I think the problem is with my wiring, because it's working as it's quote-unquote supposed to. It's just working too much. So I'll just go back through my diagram and make sure my where is that? Wait, make sure my my wiring is correct. It's somewhere in there. And I saved a picture on my phone too. So, but yeah, I'll come back at you guys tomorrow. I don't think I'm gonna run to O'Reilly's tonight. I think I'll go there tomorrow and get that stuff right away in the morning. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted, and hopefully we'll have this video up by Friday, by Friday, and then the car show is on Saturday. So I'll keep you guys very much up to date with how that goes. So we won't need to bleed the brakes again. Everything stayed connected. Yep, so good stuff. Again, Eibach on the right, BMR on the left. I think I'm going to go with the BMRs. That's probably what we're going to end up using. Hey, garage people. I'm back here under the Camaro. And as you can see, our to-do list is getting slightly smaller. We've got all of our Eibach springs out over here, front and rears. Our BMRs are ready to blast this evening. We're going to sandblast those and get them painted this evening, and we'll let them dry overnight and reinstall them on our Bilsteins tomorrow, and then get the rears back up under there. Also, got my air conditioner pump back in. Compressor is back in there with the belt on, and some new O-rings on the back. I got them locally, which was pretty sweet. So I sealed that up, put some new oil in there, compressor as well. And I've got a vacuum pump rented from O'Reilly's that I'm gonna go pick up tomorrow. And then I'll pull a vacuum on the AC system. And if the vacuum is good, then I'll take it off. And then when I lower the car, I'll fire it up, turn on the AC, and put my cans of coolant in there, refrigerant or whatever you want to call it. So, for the rest of our projects, we have got to finish the AC, finish the suspension, and then we can start messing with our Lingenfelter box. That will be probably messing with the wiring. When I get that all pulled up, I'll show you guys the diagram I have and what we're working with. And I will try to see where I went wrong there. So currently, the switch is powered, and it's always powered right now. It's activating the rev limiter all the time, not just when the clutch is pushed in. So I'm going to see if I can fix that, and then if I can't, I'll get Lingenfelter on the phone and go through their troubleshooting. Because it does work, it's just working too good. So we'll see if we can't get that figured out. But let me flip you around here. We've got the front all taken apart. The struts are off still. We'll get the new springs on them after they've been blasted and painted. And then all of this stuff can go back on. So that'll be good. Springs will go back on. Everything will get buttoned up. Car will be ready to sit down. And then it'll run. And then we can mess with the Lingenfelter box after it's running. It doesn't need to be on the lift for that. So hopefully I'll be able to get to that as soon as tomorrow, which would be pretty sweet. And then Friday, Jenny has off. And so hopefully we'll work on the Chevelle a little bit. And then on Saturday is the car show. So coming along nicely here, which is pretty awesome. I was glad to get those O-rings sourced locally and get that compressor popped back in there. So that is done. And I've got when I go to O'Reilly's tomorrow to pick up that pump, I'll see if the vacuum works. And if it pulls a vacuum, I'll put my cans in. It will be good to go there. Then the engine will be done. The suspension will be done. And the only thing will need to be either just a little bit of plugging some plugs differently, or maybe a little bit of rewiring with that Lingenfelter box to make the two-step work. And then we can test that and the nitrous system, and then all we need to do is dyno it. So, well, and get the tune to make our idle right there, and get the speedo adjusted. So, yeah, good stuff. I will keep you guys updated when I've got things further along. Oh, I guess I should show you back here for the suspension. To get the rear springs out, I got the wheels and tires off, and then I put my jack on my toolbox here and lowered the rear end onto the jack just enough to take the tension off of the shocks. And so I could pull the shock out of its mounting hole there. Then the axle droops low enough to just barely pull the springs out, which is great. Then I'll put the springs back in and jack everything back up and reattach the shocks. And Bob's your uncle. So, yeah, fun stuff there. Pretty simple. I'll return these coil compressors that I didn't need. I thought maybe I'd be able to get by without getting the shocks out, but 6 one way, half dozen the other. And this was free to rent. So, yeah. Back at you guys in short order. Sweet. Hey, 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 garage people. Coming back at you. Got parts going in the garage, parts going on outside the garage, and a little bit in between. My bench is kind of full right now. Got my shocks up here. This is what's gonna go into the car, in the AC system. And what's happening currently is I'm evacuating the AC system and pulling a vacuum on the entirety of the layout because I had it all disassembled and there is no refrigerant in it. And I'm checking the pressure on this gauge right here. And as you can see, it's pulling a nice vacuum. So I'm going to let this run for a few more minutes and then we will turn it off and let it sit and then check and see if the vacuum holds. And hopefully it does, because if it does, that means we are fully functioning with our AC system integrity. And if that's the case, I will climb in the car and fire it up, and we'll get it to idle nice for us. And we will refill the system with Freon, which will be awesome. Or not Freon, refrigerant. It's 134A. Synthetic R134A. I need 24 ounces. Got 2 cans here. Should have just a little on the extra side, but that's okay because there's a gauge here that tells you about overpressure. And then also, I will fill it through the low side right here. And I'll keep an eye on the high side meter as well. And I'll check the rating, but I think it can hold about, or operating pressure rather, is about 200 PSI. I think these hoses are like 600 or 800 or something. I don't know. These hoses are, where does it say? Burst pressure 600 PSI, working pressure 600 PSI, yeah. So I think it goes around 200 or so. I'll look it up and check, but yeah, so far so good. The AC system seems to be holding a vacuum, and it got some, oil is smoking a little bit here. This thing's getting slightly hot, but that's okay. It was nice and full of oil. So I'll let it go for a few minutes and then make sure the vacuum is holding. Might crawl underneath and see if I can't spot the repairs that I made. But yeah, hopefully that'll be good. And then I will fire this thing up and prime the system. And then I can go about reassembling my suspension. So these are the BMR springs, and I got them all repainted here. They are currently getting nice and dry. The back ones can go right in, which is nice. I don't have the shocks reattached yet, so I'll put those little caps go on top, and the shock sits on there for the locator. So I'll put the cap back on, toss them back in there, get those on, and button the rear end up, put the wheels back on, and that'll be done. And then hopefully the engine will be done as well. And then I'll get my front suspension back together and this thing can set down. And then the only thing that's left on our list is see if we can't figure out that Lingenfelter box. And then eventually get a dyno, or a tune on it, and eventually a dyno sesh. But figure out the Lingenfelter box, test the 2-step in the nitrous system, and then she needs a tune. So we will continue with that, and then tomorrow, Jenny and I will be going up to Buffalo, hopefully, to go to the car show with the Chevelle, which we're going to do some work on tonight. And hopefully I'll get this done, midday tomorrow, and we can head up. So, yeah, good stuff happening around here. I'm glad these tools are working for me. And, yeah, I'll come back at you guys soon. Alright, garage people, back wheels back on. Watching a little South Park here. I've got the BMR springs back and reloaded up underneath the Camaro on the back, and the shocks are reattached, and the tires and wheels are on, so the rear end is back buttoned up and ready to go, which is great. Next, I am going to lower it down, and I tested the system and it seemed to pull a vacuum, so I'm going to lower this thing down and probably fire up the motor and see if it'll take a can of Freon. So yeah, that'll be fun. And then I got my front springs here. I'll assemble those onto my my Bilsteins as well and get them all one solid unit. So it'll be these shocks with these springs, and they'll go up here, one on each side. Then that stuff can go back on, and the brakes. All this stuff goes up in there to hold the brakes on, and the sway bars and the shocks. And yeah, then we'll be good to hopefully get the 2-step going and take this thing out. So I'll lower it back down, and we'll get back to you when the motor's running. Hey garage people, we're all back together. Got our BMR springs with our Bilstein shocks on the driver's side. Passenger side's already buttoned up. Wheels and tires are back on. And on the rear, back here, I'm just gearing up for some Thursday night football. First game of the season. Yes, can't wait to get that going in 15 minutes here. But we got our red springs back up in here. Bilstein's reattached right there. And everyone's happy. So yeah, good stuff back here. What I'm going to do is get this wheel and tire back on there. This front end will be done. I'm going to drop it down on some bricks that I've got outside so keep the front end up off the ground, and then I'll tighten down the sway bars so they can sit at ride height where they need to be. And then what else do I have to do? Let's see. I'll do the sound deadening around the shifter, and then tomorrow we'll fire it up, test out the two-step, test out the AC, and then maybe mess with that two-step a little bit before we go up to the car show in Buffalo, which is on Saturday. So we'll mess with that tomorrow, and then a little bit maybe on Saturday if need be. And if we can't get it figured out, not a big deal. Car still works. I just want to make sure I get that situated before it goes back and gets tuned. So, but good stuff here. I'm going to put my tools away and keep this vacuum pump around till tomorrow, and then I'll return it. But yeah, pretty good progress for the day. Car will be ready to fire up tomorrow, which is pretty sweet. Hopefully this weather will clear up, which I think it's supposed to. It is very gloomy and rainy out right now. But yeah, I think that'll be the end of it for this video. I'll post it up, and then tomorrow we'll record the final bits and bobs and the part of the quote-unquote road trip up north, and then we'll add that into the car show on Saturday. So yeah, fun stuff. See you soon. Well, boys and girls, thought I fixed the AC. Turns out I did not. Put a whole can in there and it just went right out. So I give up. I'm going to try to bring it into a shop, and yeah, we'll see. The last shop I brought it to was my hometown shop, and the lift would not pick up the car because it's too low. So I'm going to have to call them up and see if something can get remedied. But yeah, I'm out of ideas. So the cars are not going to the car show tomorrow. That one as well, because it's not working either. This one's not working, so we're not going to the show, or we will be going to the shows, but not with these cars. And it looks like my BMR springs made almost no difference on the front, so I think I pretty much did all that work for nothing. Minimal ground clearance. It'll probably still rub. Whatever. Sucks to suck sometimes, I guess. Oh well. On to the next step. Catch you guys later.